Hi Hadil, this is John. It's fun doing this with you. I'm going to try to summarize the play A Doll's House. There's four main characters. Nora, the wife, Nora Helmner, Torvald, the husband, Torvald Helmner, Christine is a friend of Nora's, and Niels Krogstad is an employee of the bank where Nora's husband Torvald works. Okay, so the story begins when Torvald, he finds out that he's going to get a promotion at his job at the bank. That is, he's going to get a better job within the bank. And he treats his wife Nora, however, not very well. He treats her kind of like a silly child and doesn't respect her very much. Nora's friend Christine hears about his coming promotion, and because she's a widow, that is, her husband died, she needs money, and so she asks Nora if she would try to help her to get a job at the bank by talking to her husband. And so Nora talks to her husband about it. Apparently there's an employee at the bank by the name of Niels Krogstad. If Christine gets the job, it seems like he will lose his job. It's not completely clear, so he wants to try to keep his job. Now, Nora, in talking to her friend Christine, she tells her a secret that when her husband once was very sick, and to pay for the medical expenses, Nora had to secretly borrow money to help with medical expenses. And apparently one of the people she borrowed from was this Niels Krogstad character. But Nora never told her husband that she had borrowed money because she wanted to protect his pride. This movie takes place when, I guess, not as many women worked, and the man was kind of considered more the head of the household. And also Nora secretly made money copying papers. She kept that a secret from her husband, and during all that time she pretended to be a kind of silly childlike wife. Coming back to Niels, Niels, because he wants to try to keep his job, blackmails Nora, threatening to tell something that she did. Now, one thing that Nora had done to borrow money was, I guess, to get it from a bank, and she signed her father's signature. That is, she did a forgery. Unfortunately, the date that she put with her signature was after her father died. And because back then a bank wouldn't give a loan to a woman unless the husband or the father approved it, and she didn't want her husband to know. So Niels finds out that she did this forgery, and so he tries to blackmail her and to get her to help him save his job. Um, but she doesn't know how to do that without telling her husband. But eventually she tells her friend Christine about this, about the blackmail, and her Christine apparently had once been involved romantically with Niels, and she said she would talk to him and convince him, try to convince him not to tell the husband. Niels Krogstad writes a letter describing the thing that Nora did, the forgery, and he puts it into Torvald's mailbox, which is locked. Nora and Torvald go to a New Year's party, and Torvald is going to go get his mail, but Nora tries to stop him from going and stalls him. And she becomes very afraid that he's going to find out, and she starts thinking about killing herself. Meanwhile, Christine is talking to Krogstad, and basically she tells him that she is interested in him, and so he says that he won't say anything about what Nora did. But it's kind of too late. Torvald goes to read his mail, and so Nora is going to kill herself. Fortunately, before she can do that, Torvald has read the letter and finds her, and yells at her and is very mean to her. And then Krogstad comes and gives them the evidence about what she did, what Nora did, and promises to keep quiet. Before that, Torvald said that that they would just have to keep quiet. That is, before Niels talked to them, Torvald told his wife, that she had to do what Niels Krogstad said. But then when Niels comes and tells him that it returns the evidence, he feels sorry that he spoke harshly to her. And but by this time, Nora is tired of the way that she's been treated in her marriage, and she decides to leave her husband. Her husband is very upset by this and tries to convince her to stay, telling her that it's her duty as a wife and mother to stay. But in the end, as the movie ends, she slams the door, leaving Torvald alone. She said that it would take the greatest miracle of all to save their marriage. And so Torvald is left thinking about that. So basically the play seems to be about it showed how marriage kind of changed, starting in those days, where a woman became more independent and more demanding more respect in the marriage. I hope it helps.